Hey guys, it's me Rob, and welcome back to some more Final Fantasy Tactics, the Ivalice Chronicles. Last time, we took on Marquis Elmdor at his castle of Limberry, and we were able to acquire his aura site as well. However, we are now brought to the intention that our Lord Brother has another piece of aura site, so that leaves us with 3 more pieces left for us to acquire, with one of them falling into the hands of Fulmarv. So we're gonna go ahead and assemble there, but before we do that, aside from doing a little bit of sorting around, we are going to do some errands again. It's crazy, I know it. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff for us to tackle, so I guess not much else for me to say other than I will see you in a minute when we're done with our little errand run, or like our collecting everything.
Welcome,
so.
Rumors. We'll have you.
You know, I will say, it probably would be wise for me to get more soldiers to do these errands. The only reason why I don't is because it's just the general idea that I don't have much else use for the remainder of my soldiers. I kind of started swapping, with the exception of these two, I've more or less been relying a lot on all the other named NPCs, so... or named characters. I don't know why I call them NPCs. I can play with them. So, yeah, I mean, to each their own. But I find more ease playing with the
What'll it be?
with the main ones instead of the secondary characters. So, that's enough of that.
You've some news. Right then.
'Tis with pride that I say the task ended in success, the like of which may not soon be repeated.
The son of an unnamed duke had been kidnapped, and we worked under the direction of the Lazalian city guard as we assisted with the search. The city guard had conducted a thorough investigation already, and had located the hideout of the suspicious culprits. We stormed their den and rescued the duke's son, Papal. The kidnappers, 3 in number, expressed strong aristocratic I was trying to make sure. Strong anti-aristocratic sentiments, and said they wished to see the nation's class system abolished.
We've faced many.
I'd consider that a job well done. On errands, right then.
'Twas a resounding success. We were blessed with great fortune and perfectly poised to seize it.
We headed to an old house on the outskirts of Lazalia to investigate the cause of some unsettling cries. We began to hear the sounds late that night, which seemed to be emanating from a room on the 2nd floor. Upon entering the room, we found a single doll crying in the pitch blackness. The locals told us that the house's former residents had died in a blaze some 10 years past. We all gathered at the house and said prayers for those departed souls. Thereafter, the house was quiet again.
'Twas a great accomplishment. I am beside myself with joy.
We were met with success beyond measure. We'll remember this till the end of our days.
For 5 days, 30 students of the Riovanes Military Institute had confined themselves to an ancient, half-excavated mountain temple outside of town. It seemed this was in protest against harsh corporal punishments received at the hands of their instructors. Though we were able to defuse the situation, a local knightly order then took the matter in hand, purging the old faculty and announcing a new administration. Several educators have since accused the knights of acting in haste.
I dare say you share our joy at such a wondrous achievement.
Furthermore, we have been waiting to show you this mysterious artifact we acquired.
What do we have? What is it with the materia that we keep getting? Black materia. These stones, developed by the ancient Saronians, are the result of experiments in storing knowledge within gems for later generations. They are said to enhance the abilities of the possessor. Black materia is believed to harbor destructive power.
A fine treasure you found there. I commend you.
What does that sound like?
I'd consider that a job well done.
We could not have hoped for a better outcome. The satisfaction I feel is beyond words.
Enticed by the offer of a reward, we set off to the Glen Peaks and tracked down a dragon. After a fierce battle, we succeeded in slaying the creature. No sooner had we extracted its tooth than we found ourselves ringed by soldiers, the Duke's men. The Duke himself then came to the fore and presented us with a hefty sack of gil before ordering his men to take the tooth away. I, for one, felt a tinge of pity for the Duke, who, it seems, must buy his own son's respect. Ah,
'Twas the definition of a job well done. Would that all duties could be fulfilled with such ease.
We attended Duchess Cupper's residence to tutor her son, Michael, a boy of 1 in 10, in the way of magics. We were later delighted to learn that Michael not only passed the Garland magic exam, he did so with a perfect score, becoming only the second child in history to do so. Given this fact, even the sizable payment we received seemed rather stingy, but Michael's smile when we heard the news was a reward worth more than any tens of thousands of gil.
I am elated to have been involved. If the feeling does not fade by eventide, I fear I may not sleep tonight.
It was an incredible success.
Over the approximately 10 days we spent with Catadona, a young woman of 9 and 10, we saw improvements in her speaking ability that can only be described as remarkable. Only a few days passed, she entered her debut oratory contest and won. With the eyes of the audience upon her, she had this to say: "Until very recently, I was so shy I couldn't even talk to other people. But after being taught the basics of conversation, I'm not afraid anymore. We need but face our fears in life." Watching from the wings, we were overcome with pride.
Now we are brimming with confidence and ready for the next challenge.
We answered the Yardro Salvage Guild's call for divers. Lured by the guild's claim of good coin for a little effort, we quickly found it to be just the opposite. We were worked from early morning till late at night for a pittance. But at the very least, we learned that when something sounds too good to be true, it oft is.
'Twas the definition of a job well done. Would that all duties could be fulfilled with such ease.
This ledger sounds like anything but that, Simon, but okay.
I'd consider that a job well done.
At least we got a lot of gil for it, so that's good.
An errand's been
And we
completed.
got a
with
actual
full
mining
report on the
expedition.
outcome. Right then, tell us how it went.
I bring glad tidings. Our efforts were rewarded with great success.
We took part in a mining expedition sponsored by Thompson Traders, a Yardro outfitter. People from all walks of life joined the crew seeking an authentic mining experience. We had the good fortune to strike a rich vein of adamantite, as well as other valuable minerals. That said, mining is no easy task, but every participant seemed to have a fulfilling, if exhausting, time.
I cannot argue with that. We may walk with our heads held high, such was our achievement.
I'd consider that a job well done.
Not too much gil, but still, every little bit counts.
Anything else I can help? Thanks.
And another
Good day
one.
to you.
The satisfaction I feel is beyond words.
We took part in another mining expedition sponsored by Thompson Traders, a Yardro outfitter. The first trip proved popular, prompting the company to hold a second in only a short period of time. Even more participants attended than the first, and the location was moved to a more challenging mine. One of the younger participants, Godi, a boy of 9, happened upon a vein of ore that resulted in rich pickings for all.
I am glad we were able to exceed your expectations. 'Twas only possible because you believed in us. And to compound our fair fortune, this most fascinating curio found its way to us.
Muppet bread, another recipe. A treat beloved by children since ancient times. The secret to making these bite-sized loaves of bread has been all but forgotten. This scroll contains the last known copy of the recipe.
A fine treasure you found there. I commend you. I'd consider that a job well done.
That's two
Anything
recipes
else I
in
can help?
our.
Thank you.
That's two recipes that we've that we've acquired. No, it was not finished in time. Maybe the one at Lionel. Yeah.
Good day to you. Want to earn some? An errand's been complete. Right then.
I bring glad tidings. Our efforts were rewarded with great success.
A ship secretly carrying a Lionel emissary was attacked by pirates and sunk in waters not far off the coast. Her cargo was clearly of extraordinary importance, as many other salvagers were already working to raise the ship when we arrived. Luckily, we were the ones to bring her up and quickly performed a search. In one of the passenger cabins, we found a treasure that we claimed for ourselves.
We faced many a difficulty, but it was our bond as comrades that saw us through.
Furthermore, we also acquired this. 'Tis rather special, would you not agree?
Nanai's Histories, a collection of writings by the psychologist Nanai that provide detailed analyses of the lives of a wide spectrum of people. This one covers the travails of a certain gambler.
Fine treasure you found there. I commend you.
We set out to capture Twilight Gutsko, who, in addition to a string of robberies, was suspected of playing a part in the abduction of a member of the royal family, prompting the crown to place a sizable bounty on his head. We bested him after a lengthy struggle and discovered that he had become leader of the outlaw band known as the Wyverns. Not only had we apprehended a wanted criminal, we had removed the head of a bandit gang in the process. This prompted Celebrant Palsino to make a rare public appearance to commend us for our bravery.
It goes to prove that earnest endeavor is rewarded in the end.
'Tis with pride that I say the task ended in success, the like of which may not soon be repeated.
The cave mimic is an unusual predator whose enormous mouth resembles that of a cave. These rare creatures are usually found in natural caverns, but this one had taken up residence at the entrance of the Ular mine, famous for its great tracts of mithril. Word among the miners was that the cave mimic was the ghost of an adamantoise whose remains had recently been discovered in the mine. We defeated the monster regardless and freed the trapped miners, who now had a most horrifying tale to tell.
I cannot argue with that. We may walk with our heads held high,
I'd consider that.
A behemoth had taken up residence in the mountains near Brevenia, and had begun to hunt increasingly close to human settlements. Not only had the monster attacked livestock, it also killed Cassandra, the owner of a nearby farm, and some 30 others. We were successful in our efforts to slay the beast and bring an end to its rampage. After the battle, we prayed with Aemon for the souls of the victims before returning home.
'Twas the definition of a job well done. Would that all duties could be fulfilled with such ease.
Be repeated.
We responded to a call from miners from the company excavating the Olar mine. Only a short amount of time had passed since the incident that had suspended operations, but the mining company was eager to make up for lost time. While we were digging, we encountered a gigantic boulder, but with the help of all the miners, we were able to move it. To our delight, the boulder had concealed a vein of valuable ore, which we were able to gather. Perseverance is indeed a virtue.
We faced many a difficulty, but it was our bond as comrades that saw us through.
And perfectly poised to seize it.
We responded to the call for divers from Zeltenia's Salvagers Guild. The guild's operations had been on hiatus since a corruption scandal several years ago and had only resumed as of late. Still, one would never know it from the sizable wage we received, even for our short employment. As we worked, we couldn't help but wonder what would become of this guild surrounded as it was by dark rumors.
I'm glad we were able to exceed your expectations. 'Twas only possible because you believed in us.
I'd consider that a job well done. An errand's been right then.
'Tis with pride that I say the task ended in success, the like of which may not soon be repeated.
Lady Vitz, the proprietress of an inn near Zeltenia Castle, lost her son Galua, who was 6 at the time, to an accident. However, when we spoke to her husband about the matter, he revealed that his wife was convinced the boy still lived. Lady Vitz, believing her son to be missing, was distraught but began to regain her composure as she recounted fond memories of little Galula. We jotted down a detailed description of the boy for what it was worth and departed with a swift farewell.
I am elated to have been involved. If the feeling does not fade by eventide, I fear I may not sleep tonight.
I'd consider that a job well done. An errand's over. Right then.
'Twas a huge success. No doubt will be the talk of the camp.
Viscount La Chale entrusted us with a centuries-old family heirloom so that we might determine if it was genuine. Consulting various experts, we obtained proof of its authenticity. However, the Viscount's remark that the treasure was more important to him than life itself led to the dissolution of his marriage while we were away. Upon our return, he greeted us with a most gloomy look, muttering that he now understood what was truly important in life and gave the treasure to us.
I dare say you share our joy at such a wondrous achievement.
There's some crazy stories deep within these side errands.
We also obtained a curious item, though its mysteries remain unsolved.
So this is the heirloom, right? Yggdrasil mistletoe, a parasitic shrub that feeds on the bark of the world tree. Upon sprouting, it shrivels and dies in half a day. Its leaves, if properly harvested, can be used to brew an elixir of eternal youth.
A fine treasure you found there. I commend you.
The like of which may not soon be repeated.
To combat the rise in banditry and murder during the 50 Years' War, an elite guard was established, formed of soldiers who had proven their worth on the battlefield. Unchronicled in history's pages, this elusive group of black-clad warriors known as the Sable Swords. It is said they perished after falling prey to a bandit's trap in Death's Gorge, and sightings of ghostly figures in black armor continue to this day. The spirits of the Sable Swords, perhaps? Or demonic beings of ancient origin? As we set about to uncover the truth, we noticed an unusual variety of black stone all around the area. It had a mystical air to it, and we brought back as much of this rare mineral as we could excavate.
I cannot argue with that. We may walk with our heads held high, such was our achievement.
I'd consider that a job well done. On errands, right then.
We were met with success beyond measure. We'll remember this till the end of our days.
We learned that Bethesda Typhoon Carts wanted with bounty for precisely 756 counts of purse snatching was hiding in Salgidos, and quickly set out to capture him. We were aided by a mysterious ninja clad in black, who promptly vanished after we defeated the typhoon. Witnesses told us that the ninja was none other than the informant who had sold us the information.
It goes to prove that earnest endeavor is rewarded in the end.
I'd consider that a job well done. You some... Right then.
The outcome was nothing short of tremendous. What joy it brings to finally share these glad tidings with you.
We have been asked by old Blanche to deliver her son Dinar his favorite dish. Upon learning he had been slain by monsters quite recently, we agonized over how to break the news. On the advice of Dinar's wife, we told his mother that we had delivered the meal and Dinar was well, and she gave us a reward for our trouble. Old Blanche was delighted with the knowledge that the meal had reached her son on his special day. Though we could not give it to him in person, we instead visited his grave, where we represented the dish as an offering and gave a prayer with his wife beside us. This feels like a really mean-spirited outcome.
It was a great accomplishment. I am beside myself with joy.
Fully deserved, I say.
We struck out for the northern reaches of the Germanes woods and found what we had hoped. Raffleshiva, the legendary carnivorous plant whose blossoms can reach up to 5 domes in diameter. As we collected a sample, the Raffleshiva detected our presence in its territory and began to reach for us with its giant tendrils, which we were barely able to avoid. Upon returning to Mr. Wendell, he proclaimed the importance of this historic discovery, one he believed would enrapture the scientific community.
We faced many a difficulty, but it was our bond as comrades that saw us through.
As we combed Lake Poscas, we discovered the submerged ruins we set out to find. As we turned back to shore, a black shape appeared in the waters before us. Consulting with a scholar knowledgeable in such matters, we learned that the lake had been part of the sea in ancient times. He believed we had witnessed a rare appearance of a Posee, an ancient sea dragon that had been cut off from the ocean when geological shifts created the lake Poscas we know today. A strange experience, to be sure. I was very I was having a hard time pronouncing that, but I think I got it.
Accomplishment. I am beside myself with joy. And to compound our fair fortune, we came across a rather fascinating ancient site.
Oh my god. The Phantom Train became so known for its primary purpose during an ancient age of war. The transport of battalions of the ghastly enthralled, a race of artificial monsters. It is also called the Chariot of the Damned. That is very different from how I remember that train.
Another ancient wonder, eh? Remarkable work. Congratulations. Your standing as an adventurer has improved.
That finally leveled up.
I'd consider that a job well done. On errands, right then.
'Twas a huge success. No doubt will be the talk of the camp.
Judging by its design and style, Master Joshua, who has studied ancient architecture for half a century, was of the opinion that the dungeon found beneath the Collins estate was a relic of an ancient civilization. From the complex structure and plentiful booby traps, he surmised that this particular labyrinth had been constructed to protect valuable artifacts. With the expert guidance of Master Joshua, we were able to navigate the tunnels and discovered an ancient wonder hidden in their depths.
I dare say you share our joy at such a wondrous achievement.
Furthermore, we have been waiting to tell you of a mysterious place we found on our journey.
Semet Falls. A site of significance for the ancient Palamessian Empire, mithril was mined beneath these majestic falls, while exactium, a fuel used by the airships of the day, could be gleaned from their magical waters.
Another ancient wonder, eh? Remarkable work.
I report a phenomenal success. And 'tis fully deserved, I say.
So far, Zero had seemingly targeted the valuable assets of several nobles, with the thief himself making this reason clear. Or so we thought. Zero's true intention was to swipe each noble's mashmol drachma, a rare coin minted by Lady Fokara's grandfather and part of her inheritance. For many years, the nobles kept these priceless drachmas hidden in their collections of fine art and curios, and Lady Fokara had petitioned Zero to return these mementos of her late grandfather to their rightful place. As he slipped away, Zero said to Lady Fokara and her father, "As long as there is injustice, as long as there is hope, Zero will always return."
I cannot argue with that. We may walk with our heads held high, such was our achievement.
I'd consider that a job well done. On errand, right then.
The outcome was nothing short of tremendous. What joy it brings to finally share these glad tidings with you.
Our investigation of an abandoned dwelling in the town at the foot of Limberry Castle revealed artificers' tools of varying design, and a golem some 4 domes from the head to toe. The golem attacked, and we destroyed it only with great difficulty. Not long after, the golem's creator, a scholar self-proclaimed of 250, by the name of Master Gell, returned and we swiftly apprehended him. He claimed to be experimenting in alchemical reanimation.
I am glad we were able to exceed your expectations. 'Twas only possible because you believed in us.
Nothing ever goes wrong with alchemical reanimation.
I'd consider that a job well done. You've some new... Right then.
'Twas a huge success. No doubt will be the talk of the camp.
The Wandering Gambler returns. The Blackjack, a famous casino ship beloved of many a noble, had docked in a port on the Limberry coast. And we sneaked aboard hoping to try our luck with a few bets. Just as we were told by the tavern master, one of the games on the port side paid out several jackpots and we collected a tidy profit. When asked, the ship's owner, a man by the name of Setzer, told us he had adjusted the odds to allow for more jackpots, but had reduced the payout to compensate, a small price in his eyes to ensure customer satisfaction. He commented, "You can't call it entertainment if it's not fun."
It goes to prove that earnest endeavor is rewarded in the end.
I'd consider that.
A large banquet was held at Gissal Greens, an eatery renowned for its fine chocobo cuisine. What precisely the party was for, we could not say, for we were much too busy working to converse with the guests. We had arrived early in the morning on the day of the event and began preparing the food. Once the dinner was in full swing, we washed a mountain of dirty dishes after each course. When the merriment finished in the early hours, it was time to clean up the premises, which took until noon that day. The work was tough going, but we left with a sense of accomplishment.
I cannot argue with that. We may walk with our heads held high, such was our achievement.
Furthermore, we also acquired this. 'Tis rather special, would you not agree?
That's a Tommy gun, of all things? Okay. Guns of this larger type are said to have been fitted to airships in the days of yore. Their bullets could be used for different purposes, depending on the magic with which they were infused.
Fine treasure you found there. I commend you. I've never met anyone with a better nose for treasure. You've earned the title of Master Treasure Hunter.
Yay! Master Hunter completed. So it's level 8. Okay, that's good to know.
I'd consider that a job well done. Need any thanks?
Alright, well, now that that's all said and done, let's see what we can learn. I mean, obviously I'm gonna get that. And Salamander. So we're almost done getting all of these, except with just this last one, which I don't know what it is. So we need 400, and a lot more else too, so, what are you gonna do, you know? I need 3,000 for teleport. I have everything else except teleport. So, yeah, that's probably what we're gonna be trying to go for next. But I think we'll leave that off for next time, so I'm gonna go ahead and re-kit everybody before we head out to Egros Castle, where we are going to confront Dystarg. So, on that note, thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, have a good one, everyone. And as always, stay safe.